Let's get into the solution. You've already mentioned this a few times. You do the same in your book. You actually talk about the solution right at the beginning of the book, and then you explain why it's a good idea, and then you go into more detail. And so the main two things that you recommend as a solution in the book Adrenaline Dominance, anyway, is changing the diet to keep the blood sugar more balanced and using progesterone. Now, in terms of the diet, I'm happy to talk about that if you want, but your recommendations of people are actually identical to mine, so we don't have to cover them if you want, but you're welcome to. But progesterone is completely new information for people. It's not something I've recommended before.
Well, I need to say a little bit about the diet because that's actually more important than the progesterone cream is. The brain uses two different fuels. One is glucose, and the best source of glucose for the brain actually comes from vegetables because they don't produce a lot of insulin. And then the other fuel, which is even more important, are ketones. And, they have a thing called a ketogenic diet, which I don't recommend because it's a hard diet to accomplish. But basically, you can get ketones directly from coconut oil or something called MCT oil, which come from coconut oil. So if you provide the body with coconut oil, MCT oil, and vegetables, that'll take care of the brain, the need for fuel. And then the only other thing you have to add is a 5% progesterone cream. Now, 5% means that each pump is 50 milligrams, and that's the exact strength you need to block adrenaline. Now, England is tough about hormones.
Yeah, you have to get it as a prescription here, but you can buy it in America. You can buy it from the US and ship it here. That's perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Okay, so progesterone cream, 50 milligrams at a time. How many times a day would a person do this?
Well, if they have a lot of adrenaline to begin with, I recommend 4 times a day, just to begin with. And as soon as the adrenaline levels come down by eating correctly, which is only after a few days, they can cut it at twice a day is fine.
Okay.
It should be applied to the arm and rub the 2 arms together. Another good place is the back of the neck because people with a lot of adrenaline carry tension there.
What about the forehead? What about like the forehead area?
Well, you want to put it with.
You said it reduces tension.
Well, yeah, which the cheeks would be a better place because there's more blood supply in the cheeks and you want it in the bloodstream actually.
Okay, I thought there was good blood supply to the forehead, but yeah, okay, no, fair enough.
Now while we're talking about progesterone, they have an oral form of progesterone, like Prometrium, and doctors prescribe oral progesterone more than the cream, which is a shame because the problem with oral progesterone, it goes straight to the liver and it converts into a different hormone called allopregnanolone. So oral progesterone is not progesterone, and your listeners should be aware of that.
And when people look up progesterone, I think, Google mainstream, they're going to come across a lot of stuff about how it's not good for them. What I read in your book is that generally they're not talking about bioidentical progesterone. They're talking about the artificial drug form. Is that correct?
That is correct. They're called progestins. And they have all the same side effects as estrogen. And they have no relationship to natural progesterone, but they include them in the side effects.
Okay. So if you are open-minded about this and you want to research, if you are looking up the potential dangers of progesterone, make sure that it's about bioidentical progesterone before you take it seriously, because that's what we're talking about here.
Exactly.
Okay. And what are the benefits of progesterone? You've already talked about, key ones like reducing adrenaline, reducing excess insulin, and also combating estrogen. I want to talk about estrogen in a little bit, so I'll put that on pause for a minute. But just in general, what are the benefits of progesterone? Because people listening to this, okay, I know they're going to think that this sounds weird, especially if they're men, right? Because isn't progesterone the female hormone? Is it going to make me more feminine and give me feminine traits if I take it as a man? And then for women, they're going to be concerned because they're like, you know, what with my menstrual cycle? Is it going to mess with my menstrual cycle if I have too much? Or so, could you address each of those potential concerns?
First of all, people should understand that men and women have the identical hormones. Progesterone is not a female hormone. Now, men stop making progesterone around the age of 50, stops. And it's after the age of 50 that men start putting on weight around the middle because they have nothing to block insulin anymore. And they start getting prostate cancer because they have nothing to block estrogen anymore. So it's an important hormone for men. Plus, men also get anger issues and sleep issues. And I'm just saying that, road rage
Sure.
is adrenaline. So
okay, so
it's a healthy hormone.
like men and women have the same amount of men and women both have testosterone, but men have, like they produce at least 10 times as much, right? Maybe significantly more. And I know with estrogen, they say that past a certain point, like 40 or 50 years old, the men start actually having more estrogen than the women because the women's menstruation ends and then the men are having more and more of their testosterone converted into estrogen. But so with progesterone, I think most men listening to this could accept, okay, my body produces some progesterone, but they probably still have an idea in their head that they need way less than a woman because it's more a female hormone. So could you address that concern?
Well, everybody's different, and especially the way they react to hormones. But it's the kind of thing that there's no downside to using progesterone. You can't hurt yourself with it. So just use it and see how you feel. People that do have a lot of adrenaline, within minutes after using progesterone, they'll feel nice and relaxed. They'll be able to focus better. Remember, it's good for ADHD, and in terms of it controls insulin and adrenaline, and these are the two hormones that speed up the aging process. So why wouldn't somebody want to use progesterone cream?
Well, because they're scared of it, right? This is what I'm trying to help people address. I think the answer is either because they've never heard of it or they're scared of it, So we're helping people to become aware of it and we're trying to address the concerns. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Rejuvenate podcast. If you want to watch the full episode that came from, just click on the link above. Or if you just want to watch our latest video, then click the link below. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thank you.